NFL brings us to Las Vegas, Nevada. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Indianapolis Colts and the Las Vegas Raiders. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. Tavon Austin now from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. Now a man who played at Centennial High here in Las Vegas, Ramondre Stevenson. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Again, it's Stevenson. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
I know the speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Well, on the opening drive, he was looking for a big chunk play. Unfortunately, that time, the secondary was ready for it. Charles picked it off. Not only that, they take it the other way for points.
Homework, preparation, research, it all comes back to that, VJ. Scouting your opponent, not just the players, but the coaches too. And seeing what they call to begin a game, find out their tendencies. They recognize the early deep ball as part of their opposing game plan, and they weren't caught off guard when it showed up.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
They go play action with Jackson. Throw downfield going to be taken in by Harry. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards the pickup there.
Partner, you know when we call it a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed and his elusiveness and the ability to get him on the ground, how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Throw left side complete. That's Edwards. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. He got 29 yards that time. Now Jackson on 1st down. Checking this down to Stevenson. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Well, that play there was certainly a scouting report special because Cover was all too aware that this close to the end zone, he's going to become a bigger weapon for that offense, and they were there to help force the incompletion.
Jackson now. Oh, hit and as he throws there incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defensive credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
Koo knocks this one through the post. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Out of the end zone comes Smith. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Now Hall to start the drive. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure you're back. You spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Hall again on 2nd down. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Here's Fields. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And it'll be 4th down. Here's Ty Long now to punt this one away. Back deep is Tavon Austin. Seven yards on the return after a punt of 39. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense.
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Colts have moved out in front. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And the lead is now 10-7. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Offense set to get this drive started. 3 and 5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. Out of CB, do you see it? Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked off by J.C. Horn. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. So problems with errant passing continuing. Remember, he threw 2 picks in the loss last week, and now another here in this first quarter.
And sometimes, partner, this is the result of a quarterback who's simply trying to do too much. Feels like he's trying to make up for what he did last week, and he can't do it all on one throw.
Stevenson now on 1st and 10. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. They go play action now. Jackson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up 3rd. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick six, and here he ends up on his backside.
And you have to wonder to yourself, okay.
The Raiders call on a nickel set here for third down. From midfield now, here's Jackson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jamin Davis. And the Raiders are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
Kamal Martin there on the stop. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Fields. This pass out wide to Hall. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. The Raiders at 3-5, 2 games under 500. Yeah, they've lost 3 straight here, and it kind of goes without saying, I guess, but they could certainly use a win.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's a difference between a losing stretch and a losing streak, and right now, they're not playing their best football, but if they were to fall here, and now you're looking at going 4 games without a win, things can start compounding themselves pretty quickly from this point forward.
From the gun on 3rd down, Fields. And that is incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to gallop the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. A nice work on the return as he gets about 15 yards back. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They'll try the left side with Stevenson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2.
And we often talk about defensive end setting the edge, sometimes even the outside linebackers. But how about here? This is a cornerback essentially setting the edge and finishing off that play for a loss.
On 2nd and 12, Jackson forced out to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Calais Campbell able to record his 5th sack of the season.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
The Colts on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and a mile. Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but
let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. This will be spotted just shy of midfield. A 59-yard attempt. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. Now a first down throw, Fields. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Colts force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Odafe Oweh there on the tackle.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They never went crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson being chased out left. He's got a man, complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 39 yards there, a big one. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Jackson. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Stevenson. And they'll work this down inside the 30. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. And they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. It's Zaven Collins who got in there to get the sack.
He only gave them an instant to react. It was a classic case of if you blink, you missed him. Off the line and to the quarterback in just a couple of seconds. Running back only had a moment to react and attempt to throw a block.
He'll dump this down to Stevenson. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. Koo knocks this one through the post, and that will do it for this first half. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this third quarter of action. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now, they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
To throw is Fields. And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down.
Well, we're into the second half now. This is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. The drive starts with a carry by Stevenson. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On second and 11 now. Jackson throwing the out route incomplete. It's Stevenson. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. And that's good for a gain of 6. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now it's Jackson. Got Stevenson again, back-to-back plays. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there, 4th and 3. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Here's Smith to return it. So holding there on the return, and that'll back him up to start the next drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there, partner. I think when the officials look in their manual and see the expression, jersey getting pulled, that's a flag coming out every time.
Fields tapping it forward, jet sweep. And he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
But it's not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete, but you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the second half. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. Here's Ty Long now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here's Austin. A good kick that time, but also a pretty good 15-yard return. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A give for Stevenson, running right. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Stevenson gets it again on second down. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here's Jackson. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Stevenson. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the 1st at the 32. Field goal coming from Younghoe Koo. This is a 49-yard attempt. Right hash. Koo knocks this one through the post. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
Out of the end zone comes Smith. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. So already not the best of kick returns there, but that penalty, that adds insult to injury and backs him up even closer to the goal line.
Yeah, not ideal field position to begin a drive, is it? Because the extra pressure now goes on the offense. They've got to get some early yards and get away from the shadow of their own goalposts. What every offense wants to do in this situation, get 2 first downs to help out with field position at the least.
Third quarter from Southern Nevada. Here's a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Fields. He's got a man. Complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain of right around 35 yards on a play that started back inside their 10. A big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Ball on a give up the middle. He'll get it up near midfield to the 49 before being taken down. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Now a 2nd down and 6. Now Fields. He's got a man. Complete. It's a big play there for Vegas. 44 yards. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover it. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the campaign and 4th overall. And the Raiders have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And it's good. It cuts it to 2. 16-14 our score. Touchdown. Here's Pinheiro to kick it off. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback, because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
To Stevenson on 1st down. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
On 2nd and 11 now. Jackson. Catch is made by Harry. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 43. Now Jackson. And that'll be complete. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit because I know the defensive guys were up there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the fourth, a costly turnover. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Now it's Fields. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll let this go for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This for the lead in the final stages. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ball game, and it didn't come until the 4th quarter, but he connects there. A big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there and all that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive. Right now they're on the wrong end of the scoreboard, and that won't change if this drive ends like the last one when they had that lost fumble. So you have a feeling taking care of the football is certainly paramount right now.
Yeah, and it's not just the guy who dropped it on the last drive, is it? That means everyone who might touch the ball is getting the same message. Guys, ball security, paramount. Let's take care of it, and if we do, we've got a chance to put points on the board.
So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
To your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 24-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Straight ahead, it's Stevenson. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Stevenson gets it again on 2nd down. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. They run once more with Stevenson. And that's not going to get it done. He'll come up well short of the first at about the 21. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to take the lead here in the final minute. Koo knocks this one through the post. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. Now Fields. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Back to throw. Fields. He's got a man. Complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Here's Fields. And that one going to be off target and incomplete. A couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
All eyes on Fields. Finding Gray on the out route. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
One last throw here for Fields. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. What a game we were treated to in this one. And then on that final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffered the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity.